Hello and welcome back to my craft room. Oh, this is one I've been very excited to make. I've been having to sit on my hands for nearly 2 weeks now. So, because I've had other stuff going on. I won't bore you with all that now. So a couple of weekends ago I went down to Islington in London for the Stitch Festival, and it was amazing. There were lots of incredible things to see there, very, very inspiring. And one of the absolute highlights for me was to visit the Bazaar stall. Bazaar! Regular viewers will know that I absolutely love Bazaar. I love what they say, I love their ethics, I love everything they stand for. They're just lovely people. Now Jo, I knew was, because she'd let me know, I knew was away in India, amongst other things, sourcing lovely new scraps for the fabulous scrap packs that I love so much. More about that in a minute. But it was lovely to visit their stall and meet Alex and their son Daniel. They're just such lovely guys. Anyway, I was sent away with not just one but 4 of their gorgeous scrap packs, and because I haven't been able to video for a couple of weeks, I've kept it in this sari bag. So they put all of they don't use carrier bags and things, they use these recycled sari bags, which is lovely. I've got a whole collection of these now and use them to store fabrics and things in myself. I've lost my thread now, and I haven't even peeked inside the bag since I got home. I've been saving it to open with you here because I knew some of you would really enjoy seeing these scrap packs opened. So if you haven't seen before a little bit about Bazaar, let me show you their website. So this is the Bazaar website. I will link to this below. One of the things I love is that they don't just import stuff, they go over there, they get to know, they have proper real relationships and friendships with the people that they work with over in India. All of the things that they sell are handmade, craftsman made. They're supporting the people that make the crafts, and they're helping to keep these crafts going. You know, it's all about fair trade. They're as ecologically friendly as they can be. I'm a huge fan of this company. So I'm going to come back to this website in a minute. Let me just come back and finish. Keep losing my thread. So I first discovered Bazaar actually at a similar thing. Now, which one was it? A knitting and stitching show? I can't remember now. Knitting and stitching show, maybe a few years back. It was at Alexandra Palace, Ali Pali, down in London, and their beautiful stall just caught my eye because I love all those Indian fabrics and things. And they had these scrap packs, and I was just like, my inner magpie came out to play. So I think I went home with a couple of scrap packs that day. Loved them so much I bought 4 more or something. So and it's been a bit of a love affair ever since. So I had gone along to the Stitch Festival just recently, thinking I would treat myself to a couple more scrap bags because I haven't had any for ages. I've been sort of telling myself I need to use more of what I've got before I buy any more, but you know, it's nice to have something new sometimes, isn't it? So I had told myself I was going to treat myself to a couple, and I knew it's going to be hard to choose which. And then when I got there, Alex absolutely insisted that Jo had told him to send me away with 4 packs to try. Now, one of the things that Jo has been busy looking for while she's over on this trip to India, she goes over, I don't know how many times a year. She's a real seasoned traveller over there. She's very, very brave. She's a braver traveller than me, that's for sure. And one of the things she was specifically looking for was materials to make up some more scrap packs, because they just can't keep up with the demand. And I'm not surprised. They're just so gorgeous. But I love that they're all reclaimed fabrics, so they're kind of factory waste and things like that otherwise would become part of the kind of textile waste problem. So that's good, but they're just some of them are really old things, recycled clothing and things like that. It's just you wait, I'll show you in a minute. Lost my thread again. Now let's stop waffling and get in and have a look at these scrap packs, because I am itching to get in there. I can't believe I've managed to hold off peeking into this bag until now, but I've just not been able to make videos for a couple of weeks, and so yeah. Right, let's make some space. Let's go to the desk. Oh, Now, we'll maybe put the candle out the way, so I'm going to be having fabric all over the place. Let's put that over there. Let's put my coffee over here. Quick slurp. So as I say, they always put anything you buy from them. They always use these recycled sari silk bags. Now I have asked about the plastic, in case you're wondering. I've asked about that before, and although they keep plastic to an absolute minimum, because of the nature of how things are packed and stored and transported and everything, they need to be packed. And so these are reused already, and Joe asked us to reuse again as much as we can. And I will reuse the bags as much as I can. But sometimes there's no other way around it, you know. Anyway, so I think what I'm going to do is take one of these at a time, get them out of the plastic and go through them. So this one looks like a pink pack. One of my favourite combinations is the pink one. So bags of scraps, mostly cottons and silks, some hand block printed, hand woven, hand and machine embroidered. For those who love to make amends, I would love to have the job of making up some of these packs. Maybe I'll ask Joe if I can go and have a visit one day and spend a morning helping them make up scrap packs. That would be fun. Now, this little slip in here is important just to be aware of. So what Joe has said here is these inspirational packs of scraps are made up in a very cotton dusty place by the Bazaar team, and the materials being recycled have had a past life. There may be a small risk of sensitivity or, in very rare cases, allergic reaction. We suggest pre-washing if you have any concerns. The silks wash well on a delicate cycle and can be ironed using the silk setting. Please keep the darks and indigos separate as the colours might run. Happy crafting to you. Now that has been put in because just once, bearing in mind that I have had lots of Bazaar scrap packs and I never ever had a problem before or since, but there was just one time when one particular batch I got really like an itchy face. It's the only way I can describe it. Didn't affect my hands or anything else. You couldn't see anything, there was no rash to see anything, but I just got a very itchy face. Didn't really think any more about it, didn't put the two together until a couple of other people that I know who had bought Bazaar packs had a similar reaction. We can't be sure it was to do with the Bazaar packs, but it was something that we had in common. So just to be on the safe side, as Joe says here, bear in mind that these have had a past life. In the end, to be on the safe side, what I did was I put the all of the fabrics that were in that pack, I just threw them back inside the sari bag that they came in and chucked them on a delicate, tied up the bag so nothing would get lost, and just put the whole lot through a delicate wash all together. I must be lucky I didn't have any colours that ran or anything, and everything was perfectly fine. Spread it out in my conservatory to dry, and absolutely no problem. So what I'm going to do is, when I've gone through all of these, I'm going to run them through my washing cycle, and then I'll come back and show them later, just so you can see that it's not a problem. And it, you know, as I say, every other pack, it was only that one time. I've had other packs before, I've not washed them or anything, and I haven't had any issues at all. So who knows, it could have just been a random, you know, one of those random things that may never happen again. But if you have got sensitivities, it's worth bearing in mind. All of that being said, let's get to the fun part. Now this already, I mean, just, you know, I've got that's just beautiful in itself, isn't it? All I need to do with that is align it with a lovely piece of fabric and turn it into a wrap for a journal, or a cover for a book, or a bag, or cut it into smaller pieces and turn it into needle books and things. But how beautiful is that? Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the work in it. Now this looks like something that is old, doesn't it? So I don't know what the previous life of this was. I just love all the work in it. Look at that, you've got bundles of threads here that have been couched down, little jewels in there, metallic threads. I hate using metallic threads, I could never be bothered doing all of that. All the different textures, there's like thick cotton thread here, fine metallic thread, these bundles of fibres couched down. This feels like silk thread, I don't know, silk or cotton, fine, quite fine. Absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, this is different. So this is block printed, metallic block printed on a cotton. The first thing that's occurring to me is how much fun it would be to stitch into this. Add decorative slow stitching to it. It's quite a big piece of that. It would make a nice base for some swap squares as well. What's this? Oh, different again. I've not seen anything like this before. I can't even work out what it is. Feels almost paper, you know, like momigami paper, as in it feels papery but fabricy. I don't know what that is. I'll give you a really close look, will it? Yeah. Lovely texture to it. Opening these packs always gets my cogs turning, my creative cogs. Oh, that's a sleeve from something. I loved reading in that account of Joe's. They were talking about how they, amongst the scrap packs, they'd got some half bandsman's half jackets. There were these kind of brocaded, heavily embroidered jackets. And it was just the right half of them and the right sleeve. And they hated having to cut them up, but then they worked out that they'd only got the right half of all of them. So goodness knows what happened there, how they came to be. But after that, they didn't have any problems about cutting them up. So again, I think this is probably block printed, and to me, it's crying out to be stitched into, to be used as the base for some slow stitching. I've had some of this stuff before. It's lovely. It's a really fine cotton, and it always seems to be cut, yeah, on the bias. So it's got it sort of stretches that way and that way. So I think it must have been like the inside layer of clothing or something. It's like a very fine lawn almost. And it occurs to me what this would be good for is doing a layered technique that I wanted to. One of the ladies in our Facebook group, now I've forgotten her name, she shared this beautiful piece of embroidery where she'd layered up, she'd put things like curtain rings and things underneath, and then layered fabric over the top and sort of manipulated the fabric like this, and then added beads into it and stitched around where you can see the shape underneath. I can't even explain what I mean, but this kind of fabric I think would be perfect for that. So it's nice to have some more of that. I have had this before. Just love this beautiful shade of pink. So there's quite a lot of that. It's a deeper shade of pink, but it's the same kind of fabric. And then here, now I've had this fabric before, but just flat. I've never had it. This is like almost like smocked. It's kind of it's got shirring elastic. I could take the elastic out if I wanted to, but I probably won't. I will use it like this, and where I would use this would be to make pockets inside journal wraps and things like that. Love that. I probably would just use, well, I don't know, I might just use quite small snippets of that in slow stitching pieces, or I would use it to edge something, maybe. Little piece of, looks like it would have been a rose or something. And the gathering's gone. I can pull that up again. There we go. Lovely fibres. These are like, if you look closely, it's all again reclaimed what would be waste fibres, I think, that have been kind of spun together to create this beautiful effect. And what I want to do with this, I think I have got some more of this stashed away, is to use it in amongst my weaving. I've got a table loom that I haven't used yet. I think it would be lovely for that, or it would be great to couch down onto slow stitched pieces as well. Lovely, beautiful. Oh, little beads, a little glass beads. Have we got a nice big hole? Yes, they've got a nice big hole. Another fine soft cotton fabric in a different shade of pink. I love all these different shades of pink. This one's quite kind of magenta, this one. What I haven't got in this batch is silks. Sometimes you get, I mean, one lady said to me she was disappointed because she got all silks. and someone else was disappointed because they didn't get any silks on time. It is random. It depends on what they've got at the time. I think once Jo's got all these extra bits and pieces from her travels this time, yeah, they're going to have a lot of scope. So I will definitely be getting some more once they put the new packs out as well. This looks like the pocket from something. I love that fabric. I love the texture of that. I wonder if it will show on the camera. It feels like a soft wool, and it's got quite an open looking weave. That'll be lovely to stitch into. Very tactile. I just love the idea that you can take these things that would have been waste, become a huge kind of pollution problem really, and you could turn them into something beautiful. Just love that. And now I know more about the work that goes into, the effort that goes into sourcing them and packing them and everything. I always love this, where you get these hand straight stitched pieces, and that's obviously been the edge of a sleeve or something, maybe. Beautiful. But I will use that little piece definitely. And I love this too. Possibly a bit of thread painting opportunity there. Camera's not really doing this justice, this piece. It's beautiful. And the last little piece, this is silk. I think this is the only piece of silk this time, which is very unusual. And like Jo said, they were getting a bit low. That's why she had to go foraging. This feels lovely. It feels like a fine silk chiffon. Lovely, quite a big piece as well. Now, one thing to mention as well is about there's a special code you can use, especially for my viewers, which I will tell you about. Hang on to the end of the video and I will tell you about the special code to get a little extra treat when you order from the website. There we go. So that is let's bring it up so you can see it all. Ooh. There we go. That is the contents of my pink pack. Gorgeous. I can see a lot of potential there. Right, now I'm going to gather all of that up and open the next pack, and I will be back with you in a moment. Right, back again. And this is a black pack. Let's see what we've got in here. Oh, it's a bit different. Got a little zipped piece here. Zipped pocket from something. Interesting to incorporate into a bag or something. I love the challenge of using recycled bits like this, incorporating them into projects. Little doodad. Let's put the doodads on here. I love these little birds. Oh, I've collected so many of these little birds and pretty bits from Bazaar packs. Hang on a sec, I'm just going to get this in a minute. These are all pretties that I have hoarded from previous Bazaar packs, Bazaar scrap packs, which I've got huge plans for. I'm going to make some beautiful kind of dangly mobile things. That's a project that will be coming up very soon, so this will end up in here. All of the things like this that I've had in the scrap packs have all been hoarded in this little bag basically. These are all just so lovely to incorporate into your slow stitch pieces. Little bag of doodad. Oh, look at this. I'll have to open the bag in a minute. So even like these large sequins, you can use these in the same way as you'd use shisha mirrors. Lovely for that. Oh, look at this. Stitch around that. Beautiful. And this would have been like the trim on something, I guess, but you could either use it like that or you could just take it apart and use the beads. Have a big sequin. Let's have a quick look in here. Oh, I love this. It's a button made of some sort of, I don't know, resin. Love it. Oh, that'll make a gorgeous, a little like a fastening, a closure on a journal wrap or something, or bag. Oh, I probably don't need to take all these out really, but hey ho, I'm going to do it anyway. So more of those lovely sequins. Some little wired beads. Oh, shisha mirror, bells, sequin, star button. Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Look at this. Another cute little button. I love those. Little treasures, little treasures. A tiny piece of elastic. This embroidery is very pretty. Very pretty. I worked that in as like a pocket on something. Piece of silk here. Beautiful, fine, soft, lovely silk. And this it won't come to any harm at all in the delicate swash or with silk. I think the only thing so far I probably wouldn't put in is this, because I'm not sure what it's made of and it feels a bit papery and I might be worried it was, so I probably won't. But everything else that I've had there I would quite happily put through the delicate wash. Just throw it all inside the sari bag. Beautiful. And as you can see, this has been retrieved from some kind of clothing. I love using the edges like that. I like using the seams and things as well. So when you do things like I've been making those mushrooms just recently, the seams are lovely for adding like around the neck of, around the you know, you get that kind of frilly bit around the stalk of a mushroom. I use it for that kind of thing. Or, you know, I like as well that you can see that it's been recycled. Ooh, this feels interesting. Ooh, it's so thick. I thought it was folded, but I think it's just a very thick piece of wool. It feels almost like felt. It is. It just feels like felted wool. And what an interesting pattern on it, isn't it? Lovely texture to use for slow stitching. There's more of this elastic, so that must be what that came from. So little pieces of elastic. Maybe they were for face masks or something. No idea. But I would definitely find a use for those. Oh, and here's a piece of slightly elastic. Now I don't know if the camera's going to want to show it. It looks a bit blue there, but it looks very black in real life, and it's just got a really interesting kind of self pattern in it. It's not printed, it's kind of, that pattern is kind of in the texture. Does that make sense? Oh, this is pretty. You can see fluff, you can see fabric fibres and stuff coming off it, which is probably what set off my itchiness. So yeah, I will be on the safe side and run these through the wash, and I will come back and show you how they turned out. Now this is interesting because that is like shisha mirrors, but they're clear, so it's like bits of clear glass there. I haven't seen that before. So it's nice, you get the twinkle. It's not like a mirror, but you get more of a subtle twinkle. I like that. One thing that I would probably consider doing with this, a piece like this, is to dye it. I've got some dyes to try out soon, so I think it would be really interesting to see how that would respond to dyeing and then being stitched into. Beautiful. Look at the work in that. It's interesting that there's also like a clear, I don't know, but some of it's been done in like a clear thread. You can see, perhaps you can see better around the flowers. That chain stitch around the edge there is like a clear thread. Oh, look at this. So it's a bundle of some kind of interesting looking cord, but I also like the cord that it's been tied up with, which looks different. So yep, so I love that. I will be keeping that as well, of course. Again, it looks like maybe waste fibres that have been spun into this interesting looking cord. Lovely to couch down or use in your weaving or whatever. And I love the look of this too. So it feels like a kind of sisal feeling rope, but it's been plaited together with these coloured silk threads. Very pretty, and you could couch the whole thing down, or use it as it'd be nice to use as a closure on an art journal or whatever. Right, what do we got here? Oh, another one of these lovely panelled pieces. They must be patchwork together from other pieces, mustn't they? Because the styles and techniques are so different. They've been patched together, and then to where the joins are, they've couched down these bundles of cotton threads. Beautiful. And every time you look, you see something else. Like, I love the way that's been done. And look at this little kind of rosette of like organza ribbon in the middle there to form a centre. And then this is clearly a whole different, there could have been all different ages of pieces as well that have been put together. One of the things that Jo was saying in one of her Facebook posts was they don't waste anything. There's kind of an automatic process whereby, you know, leftover fabrics and stuff are bundled up and offered for sale and go on and get made into other things. She said, unfortunately, there's also, you know, a lot of evidence of pollution because of waste and stuff as well. But yeah, they don't waste much by the sound of it. And this fabric here, this background looks like it's like a cotton jersey, like it could have been an old t-shirt or something. That's been embroidered on there. Oh, this is pretty. Block printed piece again. It just makes me itch to stitch in and around those pieces, and maybe add beads and stuff, you know. So many ideas for things to do with these scraps. I'm going to have to write some of them down, get myself organised. Tom's been helping me start to use an electronic diary so I can get my ideas and things in order a little bit. Just a piece of black spotty. I'd use that as the backing for a journal wrap or something. Oh, I love this. I love this kind of thing. Which way up is it? That way. You just got this subtle pattern printed into it. Beautiful. Nearly at the end of this one. Just a piece of black cotton. Again, you can see it's been retrieved from, it was a sleeve. To me, that is part of the charm of these, is that we are reusing stuff that would otherwise be wasted and go into landfill. Now this looks like it's all stitched together, so yeah, I wonder what that was going to be, or what it was before. Again, you've already got that padding. I would probably, there's different ways of looking at it. You can either think, well, I want to make so and so, what have I got that I can make it with? Or you can look at what you've got and think, what would this lend itself to? What could I make with that? And to me, yeah, I'm thinking something that actually takes advantage of the fact that this is padded would be a good idea. So I'll have to think about that. Yeah, you can't really see that. I'm going to have to take a photo of these, I think. The camera does not like looking at so much black and white. It just kind of bleaches everything out. So I'm going to put these to one side and move on to the next one. I'll be back in a mo. I think this is going to be one of my favourites by the look of it. This is kind of a blue, kind of a turquoise blue one. It probably would have been sold as the blues pack. In a minute, when we go back to the website, I'll give you a quick look at where to find the scrap packs and what the colours are and stuff. Okay, so love a pom-pom trim, a turquoise pom-pom trim. Woohoo! And I like the little fibre that's been tied up with it as well. Another one of these lovely fibres. Beautiful. Lovely bit of gold. Oh, this is lots of interesting shapes there. Look at these. What are they made of? Those feel like stones. Not sure what that is. Lovely. It's clearly it's a bracelet, isn't it? But I will probably take it apart and use it for other things. Beautiful piece of silk here. What a lovely colour it is. I love the pattern on it again. Just crying out to be stitched into. Oh, look at this. Lovely. So you can see this is a classic example of how you can see this is factory waste. It's offcuts from factory processes, isn't it? Lovely colour. And these pieces are plenty big enough to do all kinds of slow stitching projects. One of the very simple ideas that I've got is just to do a quilt, just do another kawandi with some of them, or maybe do like a Victorian style crazy quilt but with all these Indian fabrics. I love this one as well. Gorgeous. So those are block printed, I guess, cotton. This is silk. Look at those colours. Yum yum yum. Ah, yeah, camera's not really doing that justice. It's much more, this is more turquoisey and this is a bit more magenta-y than it looks there. The whole thing is a bit more vibrant than it looks on camera. And a piece of kind of like silk, so I think you call this silk chiffon. Oh, look at this one with this. I think this would have been a beautiful sari, wouldn't it? Gorgeous, look at that. Of course, with things like this, if you don't want to use them as they are, you can just harvest the sequins and things. But I'm just thinking I could make this into a cuff or the spine of a beautiful journal. What I tend to do is open all these things, then mull it over for a few days and then start making another little birdie for my collection. I can't wait to make my danglies. Just a piece of plain white cotton, or a few pieces. That's big enough to make the background for a swap square. It's a lovely fine cotton, nice quality cotton kind of lawn. There's nothing like, you get the odd few synthetics, like they're always interesting, nice synthetics. I don't think we've even got any to show as an example. Mostly it's natural fibres, it's silk or cotton. This is a lovely colour, slightly greener than it looks on camera. Gorgeous. This is definitely my favourite, this pack so far. This colour is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. I think this pack will go beautifully with the pink pack. Lovely, more of this. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing a quilted piece. Not necessarily as a quilt. I might quilt a piece and then turn it into a bag or other things. That's what I tend to do. Wow, this one's unusual. Nice. Lovely. I love that background. Another piece like that black one, a piece that's kind of got this padding through the middle. So yeah, I'll have to think. I think I could probably make use of this kind of padded quality, but if not, I might just take the padding out and just use the fabric, because it is lovely, fine cotton, nice quality fabric in a really pretty shade of blue. So another piece of that. I do love this stuff. And this is another one that I have had it as a fabric. Elastic goes if you pull it. I have had it as a fabric, but not with the showing elastic running through it before, and that is quite useful for making pockets and things like that. So yeah, we'll keep it that way. Okay, so there's the blue pile. Gorgeous. Right, one more to go. Well, I know I said the blue is my favourite, but now my camera doesn't always take too kindly to red either. So we'll have to hope it does all right. Silk again, beautiful feeling. So, oh, look at this. Got a good sized piece as well. Lovely, soft, beautiful silk. Now that's a zipper harvested from something, which is great. I could use that for a bag or whatever. But what I like is, I just love all that texture. So I probably will ignore the fact it's a zipper, and I will use that somewhere quite likely. Dear me. Lovely pieces of ribbon, and probably was a tie belt or something like that. Very pretty. Again, lovely to use for closures. Really nice. Have a birdie. Pretty trim. Oh, I'm just going to make the most incredible crazy patchwork, I think, with some of these bits. You can see that was around the edge of something, probably around the edge of a cuff or something, or the bottom of a garment. That would have been quite splendid, wouldn't it? Ooh, now we've got a whole lot of them. Other opening this one. You can see it's a mixture of different kinds of beads. I can see a couple of tiny bells in there. Quite heavy. I think they're mostly glass beads. I can use these when I make my danglies. Another piece of silk. Gorgeous. Plain, the white piece with a sort of self patterning again. Lovely fine kind of cotton lawn. Again, it would be interesting because it's got this stuff printed on it. What I'd be interested to do, what I might save these white pieces for, is to dye them and see if it would be interesting to see, because I'm sure the dye will either not take at all where those white bits are, or it will react slightly differently where the white bits are. Either way, it would be quite an interesting effect. I don't know how that is done, whether it's block printed with a white, some kind of white fabric paint or something. If Jo watches this, she might tell me. Yeah, I would be fascinated to try dyeing these. And interestingly, these little squares are about the right size for a swap square, aren't they? Or for a square in a quilt or whatever. Yeah, okay. This is what I always do as I'm going through. I start to mull over ideas. Then I turn it all over in my mind for a few days, and then I start. This is gorgeous. It might not look much on camera, but the colour is beautiful. It feels nice, and it's this kind of like a wool feel with this quite an open weave to it. Absolutely gorgeous for stitching into. Hand wash separately in cold water. That might be one I'll pick up before I throw them all in with the wash together. I'll pull anything like this out and do that separately. I don't want everything being, it's a lovely colour, but I don't want everything that colour. Oh, this is unusual. Looks like maybe it was the sleeve of something. I love that it's got this, got these sequins on. Now whether they are, because they're old, they've kind of got a bit tarnished and they're not as shiny, or whether they were like this to start with. I quite like that they're not leery sequins, they're quite a subtle shine, aren't they? They just look like metal. They're not, they're plastic, but another piece of this is cotton. Okay, lovely. This will end up as, you know, bits of this will end up in Kawandi quilts and things. Oh, this is nice. Love this. Really nice feel to it again. Maybe a wool mix. Very, very fine and light. Quite unusual. I haven't seen anything quite like that. I'm not even sure which way is the right way out. That way probably. Plain black very fine cotton with a strip of velvet. I see something else was, this is like an under layer. Ooh, look, unusual. Don't know how well my camera will show because of its aversion to red, but what an interesting texture this is. Let me see if I can get it to, that's probably the best I'm going to get. So you've got this kind of fine cotton weave, and then this circular pattern kind of woven into it with this sort of like a jacquard, a pattern in it. Very unusual, very inspiring to stitch in and around again as well. And I've got two pieces of that. Oh look, I think I can tell what this, can you tell what this was going to be? It's quite nice that it's quilted, because that'll be lovely to stitch into as well. I'll just yeah, use that as a little piece of quilted fabric. So I can get two squares out of that, biggish squares, or it could end up being, I could harvest this part of it, and that could end up being like a needle book or something. Yes. Oh, I love this. I always like these bits. This kind of I don't know what kind of, I feel like this would have been more, I can't imagine wearing this kind of fabric. I think it would have been more something home furnishing-y. Is it linen or something? God, I don't know. I love it. Again, my instinct is saying don't wash it in with the other things, but I love this. Now Jo did tell me how they do this printing, and now I've forgotten. Oh, I'm useless. I love this. I love these variations in it. Yeah, I might just hand wash this, just separate this little piece along with the other one. And finally, I'm a sucker for these pieces. I could just look at them for ages, all the different stitches and techniques that have been used. They just look like they've all been done by different people at different times for different reasons, and they've just all come together and been stitched into these beautiful patchworks. Jo was saying that it was made much easier work of cutting up these pieces ready for scrap packs using the great big scissors that the tailors in her workshop use. Oh, I've got a lot of fodder here now. What I'm going to do now is make a giant thumbnail. You can't do all of this justice in one photo. I'm just trying to get something to use for my thumbnail. There we go. I think that will do. So I'm going to take you back to have a look at the website now, and so you can check this out for yourself. They've got lots of other lovely things on there. Because they gave me those scrap packs, I decided I had to buy something, so I got this. I think I paid £18.50 for this. Oh, beautiful bag. It was so hard to choose which one. I was torn between this green one and a pink one, and in the end I decided this was more. And if I can bear to part with it, my sister might be getting this for her birthday. Isn't it gorgeous? gorgeous. And it's like some of those pieces I've just been showing you. The more you look, the more you see. It's really gorgeous. So they've got loads of things like that on their website as well. So, but before we go to the website, I just want to say, if you want to order from Bazaar, if you put this code in at the end, and I'll show you where to put it in a second, you need to put Arty Farty Annie Treat in when you go to checkout, and they will put a little extra doodad in for you, just a little extra treat in for you. It depends on what they've got, and it depends on what you're ordering. They never have kind of too much of any one thing, so but it's always nice little, I've seen all sorts of lovely little doodads that when people have posted, when people have shared their parcels from Bazaar and they've shown what they got, it's always lovely little things. Some of the things I've seen, they've been like bundles of that recycled fibre that I showed you, so that yarn, that kind of recycled silk yarn stuff, a little ball of that, carved wooden blocks for printing with. There's just all kinds of things. I think I once got a little pot of mother of pearl buttons. It's always a lovely, just a little extra treat. I mean, I love the scrap packs anyway, but a little extra something for nothing is always nice, isn't it? And the other thing just to mention is they do post anywhere in the world, and I noticed that they put a thing on there now saying that if you, obviously they're based in the UK, so it's going to cost more to post elsewhere, but what they suggest is that if you're somewhere other than the UK, email them, let them know what you want, and they'll calculate the postage for you and work it out with you. They're very easy to talk to. They're a small company, so you know, sometimes they're busy. If they're at shows and stuff, you might have to wait a couple of days for them to get back to you, but they're really good, and they're just lovely people. Nothing is too much trouble. You can tell I'm a fan. Right, let's go and have a quick look at the website, then I need to stop this video because I'm sure I've gone on way too long as always. Here is a website, tells you all about them. There's links to their Facebook group and YouTube channel, and you can find out where they're, what events they've got on, what shows they're going to. I'd love to go to their events in, I think they're in Suffolk. I just can't get there because I don't drive, it's too difficult. They just look incredible. Yeah, I'd love to go. But anyway, so what you need to do is go to the shop and down to crafts. There's lots and lots of other stuff worth looking at. So have a good browse while you're here. And then you can see it's all divided up here. Then you can go to scrap bags. And you see the scrap bags are £14.50 each. And they're saying it's a collection of recycled Indian fabric scraps, hand block printed and plain, cotton, silk, velvet, rayon and more. It's very, it's random. But I've always been happy. So here, yeah, they're still doing the same colour ways. So green, blue, pink, black, red and purple. My favourites have always been the pink and green, but that blue I've had today I think is definitely a new favourite. I want to try and show you where you have to put that code in. So say I was going to buy another one of those gorgeous blue packs. Add to cart. So now I've gone to view cart and I've gone to checkout, and you can see I will zoom in on this when I edit it, because these are this is a lot of people have said I can't see where to put it, and I have said it's very small print, you need to look. So I'm going to show you now exactly where it is. So you see where this would be my list of whatever I'm going to buy. So I've got this scrap bags here. Under here you can see two things. There's enter a promo code. It's not that. You need to go down here to where it says add a note, and then you've got instructions, special requests, add them here. The wording's looking a bit funny. I don't know if that's just on my screen or what, but anyway, just type in there. I've just gone enter just to move down a line so I can see what I'm doing. Arty Farty Annie Treat. And if you just enter that in that little add a note box and check out as usual, you will get that extra little doodad, that extra little treat in with your order. I think that's all I need to say for now. I'm going to get this lot on a delicates wash, and then I'm going to start my cogs turning and thinking what I'm going to make first with these. I've just got so many ideas. So if you like that kind of thing, or if you've got your own scraps and recycled bits and bobs that you're wondering what to do with, watch this space. I'll be coming up with some ideas really soon. If I get these washed and dried in time, I will pop some photos of these washed and dried fabrics on at the end. If not, I'll pop them in the Facebook group and Discord just so you can see. Okay, that's it. Thanks very much. I'll see you again really soon. Bye.